everyone and welcome to Drivenmad. Now you join me in the car. We are taking the Smart #1 on a Lisbon road trip. So I live in the Algarve. Lisbon is around 300 kilometres away and that's where we're going today. So I thought I'd do a vlog and see how easy it is to live with an electric car, in particular the Smart #1. And from my house to the motorway, most of it's downhill, so we're averaging, at the moment we've averaged 7.3 kilowatts per 100 kilometres, which is just ridiculously good. But when we get on the motorway, that's going to tank up, and we'll see what it does. We're going to sit at motorway speed, 120, and we'll just see how efficient it is, because I don't like driving slow, I'd rather drive quick, but I believe 120 is the speed limit. That's the perfect speed to do. So we will catch you in around 100 kilometres when we stop at the first charging station, because I want a coffee, so let's get there. And we'll burn them all off. He's doing above motorway speed, and I've just caught him up, and I will whack the cruise control, the Smart Pilot Assist, onto 120. We can see that the car has the lanes, the car's driving itself, it's at 120, which GPS is around 116 kilometres an hour, and yeah, we'll see how much that average goes up. I believe it's going to be somewhere near the 20 mark, but we'll find out. Alright, we are pulling up to the first charging stop. Now really this charging stop isn't necessary, we've got 54% battery, and it's not really needed, but I need the toilet and a coffee, so we may as well charge since we're here. Now, we have done 90 kilometres, which isn't many, 90 kilometres, and we have averaged 23 kilowatts per 100 kilometres, so that's quite inefficient. But if I do say, we have been going uphill most of the way. This first leg of the trip, this charging spot is at the top of the hills, so what is that?
What?
Is that a Zika? What is that? There's a new Polestar. But we've averaged 23 kilowatts per 100 kilometres, and that's done 90 kilometres. So really inefficient, but like I said, it's all uphill. So we're going to do the second half of the trip, which is more flat, and we'll see what that is as well, and we'll compare. Okay, so we have just plugged in at the Ionity charger. Now, the Smart's battery is not very good. Anything sort of over 50 to 60% battery, we don't get that good charging speeds. The car can take 150 kilowatts, but it really only takes that up to 60%, well 50 really, and at the moment we're at 54% lit, and we're getting 115 kilowatts per 100. You can see there that we're charging at 100 kilowatts, which isn't very good, and once we get to 60% it will drop to 80 kilowatts, and then at 80% it really drops off to sort of 20 kilowatts. So we'll go leave this on. It says to get to 90% it's going to be 29 minutes, and we're just going to leave it on and see what we get whilst we have a coffee and a pee. So yeah, alright, anyway, we will catch you in a minute. Let's go inside. It's surprising how long it takes to go to the toilet and eat a toastie, because we realised it was lunchtime, we thought we'd have a toastie, and it took us nearly 25 minutes, and the car's at 89%, so really, if you're doing a road trip with company, which is very nice, it doesn't take long, and the charging's not really that inconvenient. So let's crack on and see what we can do. The car's saying 277 kilometres, and that's taking into account how we drove before this. So I'd like to think with 90% we could get nearly 300 kilometres out of this charge, because the road does flatten off here all the way to Lisbon. So you can see here we've got 181 kilometres to go, and yeah, let's keep going. Right guys, we're at the next charger, and the reason I stopped here, this is all a test. I don't need to charge, I've still got 50% again, but we've done another 100 kilometres, and this time it's been 123 kilometres, a few more than last time, and we've averaged 22 kilowatts, 22.2 kilowatts per 100 kilometres, so that is 1 kilowatt better than before. Okay, so I've just had a little problem charging. I'm fine, but the people next to me couldn't work the charger, so I was helping them out. It's a common thing at electric chargers. Sometimes they're all different, so they're a bit confusing, and sometimes they take 2 or 3 attempts to work, so just very irritating sometimes. But I thought I'd do the maths, and I've got, from our first leg of the trip, which was a bit more costly on the consumption, we'd get around 286 kilometres it was, and on this trip on more flat ground at 120 as well, we would get around 300 kilometres, well it was 300 exactly, so that's quite good range for 120 kilometres an hour. If you'd like to see a different test of maybe 110 or a 90 kilometre an hour test or a 130 kilometre an hour test, let me know, because obviously everyone wants to see different things, and sometimes you want to watch slower ones, faster ones. Depends how you drive, but I thought I'd do the speed limit and show you exactly how it is. But if you drive on flat ground at 120 kilometres an hour, you get 300 kilometres range out of a Smart #1 66 kilowatt. So hopefully you enjoyed. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.